And here we are. We are on the stage again. And hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Diversity is the Game Changer. And today, our episode is titled Crafting Meaningful Change Through Art of Diversity and Design. Hmm. I'm your host, Valeriya Hjertenaes, who is more than thrilled to welcome our guest, whose creativity and community advocacy redefine what it means to make an impact. Help me to welcome David White to join our show. Hello.
Well, good morning to you. Here in Toronto, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and we have snow coming down right now. So I wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity of having me on your show. This is really exciting. As I mentioned earlier when I came on, this is my third podcast. A little different from Zoom meetings, but I think this is a lot better actually. And I really do enjoy these. And I'm, like I said, I'm very, very thankful that you reached out to me and asked me to be your guest on your show.
Adorable. And
Yeah.
it became already tradition to chat a little bit before we are actually on the stage, right? And you started with showing me your cup with adventure cup, and I like the spirit, I like the energy immediately. Okay, now we know
Yeah.
it will be our adventure, of course. And look, you good morning. I'm like, okay, 4 in afternoon in Norway. Yes, good morning, sir. But we're always ready for adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. Okay, David is an award winning accomplished designer, artist, and the visionary founder of David White Design. Established in 2006. With over 18 years of expertise, he became famous for crafting stunning residential and commercial spaces, innovative trade show booth, and captivating event designs. His work combines creativity with functionality, but now also I've seen your last projects very much about sustainability, which is very hot topic now, earning
Mhm.
him a stellar reputation and making him you a trusted voice in do it yourself domain and home shows. But no, that's not all. David is also a dedicated community advocate, having served over a decade on the board of directors for the Parkdale Community Food Bank, championing the dignity and empowerment for vulnerable communities. David, it's really honored to have you on our show. Welcome again. So
Thank you.
we just jump into backwards. You remember this film, right? Back to the
Yeah.
Future, but we actually now jumping forward,
Yeah.
but to your childhood, because I
Yeah.
love combining energy and to be diverse in the approach that it's not just professional career we are talking about diversity, but of course everything I believe what we could accomplish in our adulthood actually have roots in our childhood, right? So I would like to
Yeah. Yeah.
find out more about this little David and how he was brought up, childhood, and impact on the grown-up David. Please, your
Yeah.
mic.
No, thank you so much. Little David. Little David. Obviously, I was born Canadian here in Toronto, Ontario. Both my parents were both Canadian. My father's side of the family are German, and
Oh,
I was brought in this world to my mom, Debbie, and my dad, Ron. Both my parents were very young; they were teenagers. My dad was 18, and my mom was 16 years old. So
oh,
imagine, having young teenager parents, bringing in a small child into this world. Um,
wow.
a lot of I had a lot of great memories for the most part growing up as a child, and learning everything from my, when I say learning everything, we are little children that we absorb everything around us, right? And
Exactly.
obviously we have our parents that guide us and inspire us. And my when I was probably, I mean, but most kids draw and we sketch, but I remember a time when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and it's interesting that I remember this now as we're talking.
Yeah.
Before, I never even thought about it. Uh, my dad gave me a piece of paper and some crayons, and of course, and a lot of kids draw stick people. Well, I drew a car, I drew a
Okay.
realistic looking car, very detailed, and my father was really impressed. So of course, you have both mom and dad saying, you know what, his talents come from my side of the family. It was a fight back and forth, but it was a funny fight.
Guys.
Anyways, long story short, my parents, really encouraged me to draw more, and to be creative and express yourself through creativity. And keep in mind, when I was a young boy, I was very shy. I'd always smile, I'd always draw all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I was very, very, very shy person, very shy kid. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until maybe I was 7 or 8 years old, my German grandmother, you know, uh, kind of sort of directed me into more of art and design. Coming
Mm-hmm.
from a family of construction engineer, builders, I was the only one in the family who was an artist in the very
Mm-hmm.
very beginning of my little life. And but yeah, my parents really inspired me into a direction that I never imagined I'd be in right today. So yeah.
Wow, amazing! And you see, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story. And yes, it's true. It's interesting how you really remember even now, like it was like very very young passion for you, right? And that even from
Yeah.
the childhood, it could really shape your artistic journey from the young age. And it's so
Mhm.
important also that family, community, but mostly probably family from childhood, right? They play a really
Yeah.
pivotal role in our process and by supporting
Uh,
us and giving inspiration to be ourselves and develop our skills, right? So it's so important. They deeply influence actually. They either allow us to be creative or actually, sometimes really people can really kill this creativity even from the beginning. But I'm so happy that your parents, even being so young, right, they understood that wow, this guy. And I'm sure because you said you've been shy guy, but it was
yeah.
the powerful tool for you to express
Oh,
yourself, right?
absolutely. And then that's another thing as well too. The art of expression, right? And I
Mhm,
didn't know what that meant. Obviously, you learn
mhm,
as you go. And
mhm,
my parents knew I was a very shy boy. And I
mhm,
think that by introducing me to art is a form of therapy, and I was able to express my feelings through art. I mean, I still have some artwork somewhere lying around when I was
oh,
younger, or at least my mother does. And but it is a form of expression. Everything how I feel and what I'm doing that day go and it's funny. I would draw all the time, all
mhm,
throughout my elementary school, high school, college. Everything was art. And as the years goes by, and I was starting to develop more of this inner ability to show the expressions of my feelings through my art, and then I realized, this is a very unique thing that not everybody has the skill to draw or to paint or to be creative. And a lot of my artwork in the very beginning, which is still blows my mind, is that a lot of my work is realism,
mhm,
realism paint drawings from a very young age. So, and it was only until maybe 5 or 6 years ago I got into abstract painting. I've never done
mhm,
abstract. I was always like, it has to be real, has to be real. But I mean, like I said, back into the whole art therapy. It's a great avenue, especially for those young, shy, little people, like little boys and girls type of thing. I mean, if they want to, sort of eventually branch out to, hey, look at me, this is David, I came out of my shell. And that was one thing, my mom would always said, David, you're like a nutshell. You're like all your little secrets, all your little what do you call your shyness is in the shell. Finally
yeah.
the shell broke, and now here's David. This is David, right? So, and here I am. I talk. I'm not shy. I've been on TV. I've been on stage. So, but it's been a really great journey, I have to say. So,
And I'm so thrilled and happy to listen your amazing inspiring story for me because like you have already addressed this the therapy, and it's really really very powerful therapy because one of my kids,
mhm.
uh, we will be talking about this special type of diversity a little bit later about neurodiversity, right? So I have adopted two kids, and before I used to call kids with special needs, but now
Oh,
I like even more this new definition I have discovered. So I can now address that Michelle, she is neurodiverse, right? And she has exactly the same, not problem, but uniqueness like you. She's completely shy, but also she struggles with, um, I mean, express feelings with help of words and languages. And also she's like really, she's also drawing all the time. And it's amazing because now I remember one of her also drawings. It was a car, and it should be really like, all these details, and we were like kind of shocked, how is it possible actually that
yeah.
the girl, so young, she can just go walk around, and she knows she needed details. It should be like helicopter, the view, it should be 3D. It was like, oh my god, is it really possible? So yes, I'm so happy now we know, like you said, it's really art therapy, right?
Mhm.
And it's huge effect for those kids who really can not, and I don't see it's weakness, it's just their uniqueness, right? And we need all kind of people. And look at you now, that because you had support, right, and you really could develop to the great
Yeah.
career you have now. So that's my next questions.
You know,
So
one
your career remarkably
thing
diverse.
I was just going to
What is
say, I just was going to say some real thing, real quick. Something that reminded me of an instance that happened. And this is actually interesting. I just remembered this now after all of these years. I was in grade 4. I
mm-hmm,
was probably about maybe 8. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old.
mm-hmm,
Uh, and talking about diversity and all this other jazz. When I was in grade 4, one of my teachers asked me if I wanted to tutor, and I remember I was 8 or 9. Asked me if I wanted to tutor for a special needs class.
mm-hmm,
So there was a regular class I was in, then we was a special needs, and I remember the teacher saying, "You know, David, you're even though I was very shy, I was very tentative, I was a good listener, I was
mm-hmm.
very good at problem solving, but I never knew I was going to get into the career today, right? When I was 8 years old." So I was in a special needs class and I was helping about, I think, 2 or 3 students,
Yeah,
teaching them how to do math, teaching them how to read, teaching them how to write. And I remember the teacher saying that, David is so patient. He was so patient helping these younger children to have
mm-hmm.
learning disabilities, to teach them how to do their math, how to do their writing, how to do their skills. And honest to God, like I'm amazed that I actually remember this now as we talk about it. I
Mm.
This is the first time in maybe like 40 years that this just came up now. Yeah, this
Because it
conversation.
really was that great impact both for them and for you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
of course, and just very, very then quick response that I'm also so happy um, to be the evident for, because Michelle, she attends special school for kids with special needs, right? And then they are like, mix of age and everything.
yep,
And we always have so many proof from all the teachers and other kids that, oh my god, maybe she is not the best in reading or math, but she has this grade of empathy. She's always caring and helping those who is younger. She's so patient, exactly like you. And it's amazing. Yes, so I'm so
yeah,
touched now,
yeah.
really.
Thanks for bringing that up. So that was great. Yeah.
Yes. So okay, but now if we go smoothly a little bit further to your remarkably diverse career now, right? So
Yes.
everything from which I already, oh my God, could just mention it just a little: residential design and trade shows and
Yeah.
technology driven, and your philanthropic endeavors. Oh my God. So if you would elaborate about which role do you believe diversity and inclusion have been playing and play still in this creative process and the impact of your work?
Oh, yeah, no, thank you so much for that. And yeah, my career span, it's interesting. I've been self-employed designer for 18 years now. Keep in mind, I'll let the audience know that I have, in between during COVID, got a job because I had no choice because our businesses got affected around the world. But
Mm,
obviously I'm back on my own again. And but I've done a lot. I mean, besides my residential design, commercial design, trade show booth designs for manufacturers, um, kitchen, bathroom design. I've done a lot. Obviously, I have my fine art business as well too.
mhm,
Um, I've done a lot of different things, and I think that in regards to diversity and inclusion, um, which I find which really important is collaboration. And I've done a lot of collaborating with all different types of creatives and business, and that since the very beginning of my business. I've hired many people of different diversities and backgrounds in my business, giving everybody an equal opportunity to shine and grow. When I first got into this sort of business, I noticed there wasn't a lot of that, right? It was a little bit of this and that, and I think that based on even for myself growing up as a small young boy, growing and developing into art and
mhm,
design has been my life, my entire life, everything,
mhm,
helping people, showing them, guiding them, collaborating with them, which I find is very, very important in my life, And, but, I've done a lot of different things in my career and,
mhm.
but showing compassion and helping people. And it's not, and I always say to people, right, it's not all about me. It's about us, all of us.
Mm.
I wouldn't, and I'll, truth be told, Valeria, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my colleagues. I wouldn't be an award-winning designer if it wasn't for my contractors. If it wasn't for, my fellow staff that had once worked with me. A lot of different people. We all work together to where we are, to where we are at this moment in our lives, right? So, like I said, I didn't get here on my own. I got help. And you won't get further in life if you don't ask for help, because we all need it. And one thing, to let people know, yeah, sure, I've done a lot of different things in my career. um, I don't know everything. I'll never know it's too much
Thank
to.
God.
So yeah, right. So we have to, sometimes ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, asking
Yeah.
for help, asking for guidance.
Mm.
I think that, I have my weaknesses and I have my strengths. And I when you work alongside other people of different backgrounds, all backgrounds, we can work better together as a team. It's a team effort to what this is. One thing is that, yeah, sure. I mean, I was a judge for Miss Face Humanity back in 2018.
Mhm.
I did jewelry design. I did industrial.
Wow.
I've done fashion design. I'm working on my own shoe line made in Italy.
Really?
That's all eco-friendly. I've been scouted out by film director this past May, award-winning film director here in Toronto, to host a YouTube series and design eco cabins lifestyle.
Oh
And
my God.
so yeah, I
This
have all
is
the.
also for girls or for boys?
Sorry, what's that?
Shoes you have your shoe
For
line is
both,
just
for
for.
both, for both, for both. Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's interesting. It's interesting. I didn't mention that to you before because
No.
I didn't launch anything. I'm actually in the process of designing it. And I do
Okay.
have my own Instagram account. I just haven't posted anything yet. So, I mean, in regards to, this whole diversity of our world, I mean, there's so many things that we can do, and especially being a creative person, it's endless ideas, endless creativity. So, a lot of people are always wondering, like, how did you manage to do all of these different things? Well, I would normally do this. I would master one area once I got the gist of it, and then I go into the next. But
Mhm.
keep in mind, even though I'm self-employed for 18 years, I'm 51 years old. I've been a designer and artist all my life. So I have technically like 45 years of, of creativity, really, if you
Yeah,
kind of,
exactly. Since
yeah.
your last creation.
And I absolutely love what I do. I love what I do. I love meeting people. I love collaborating. I love working with new people, new faces. And you know what? It's such a great, diverse way of being creative in this world. So yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. It's exactly what you have. underlined from the beginning that it's everything about this collaboration, right? Yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly that we all need each other because we have our areas with potential to develop, but we also know that some things we are really good at, right? And
Oh,
when
absolutely. Yeah.
this collaboration and collaboration emphasize and celebrating diverse perspectives is the key to enhancing innovation. We know that.
Yeah.
And it's how we have the birth for fresh ideas and different solutions to the table when we are all different, right? That's why we can create together and coexist, co-create. So designing, and especially when we also are so different, we have different needs, right? And then it's also not just to being creative, just to, okay, of course, ethic side of this the design, and we're all different and we have different tastes, but it's also it's very important about inclusivity in mind, and it can ensure that we all can put our effort to do it also, like, you know, very adjustable to the diversity, right? Because we all different, and then
Yes.
if we all together create something, so we can ensure that this creative work can reach and resonate with everyone regardless background, ability.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, it doesn't matter your background because at the end of, like I said, at the end of the day, we all have our own unique ways of doing things and learning different things. And
Mm,
sometimes I admit, sometimes I could be stubborn. Maybe it's the German side of me, right? But
mhm,
I do listen. I mean, always like to listen to all the different narratives. There was an interesting thing. I was one of my clients asked me, to meet a photographer friend of hers, and he's actually in a wheelchair, so wheelchair accessible, and
mhm,
he's an amazing, amazing photographer, like
mhm,
so amazing. And I met up with him at one of the hotels here in Toronto to do a photo shoot for my new website.
mhm,
So he was filming me, he was taking photographs, he was so amazing, and we had a brief conversation. And he
mhm.
said to me, he goes, some people wouldn't hire me because I'm in a wheelchair. He goes, but then some will. I said, yeah, but you know what? I go, it's sad that people can be like that. Not everybody's like that, but people judge you for all sorts of things. And I think that people need to look beyond that and look at the person. This guy is his name's Matthew. He's so talented. He's amazing. He's creative. I like his drive. I like the direction that he's taking my work, especially too. And I'm like, I said, you know what? I said to him, I said, you need to meet my photographer. Now on. That's it. You're coming everywhere with me. And I
Mhm.
said, I said to him, if I ever fly in the future, wherever it may be, I take you, I'll make sure that everything's taken care of for you. So this way, everything's
Oh,
covered
I'm
because,
freezing. My I have ghost. Oh.
and he's so like there's a lot of people in different situations that you can't judge them based on their situation. you know um it doesn't matter. Like you have to treat everybody the same way, the same respect for everybody. Don't judge people because people can judge you easily. So and like I said, I've hired all sorts of people in my career, giving them an opportunity, and that people have given me opportunities. And also one thing as well too, going back to that real quickly for accessibility, is that I've designed for clients that are seniors. I've designed for seniors, and
Mhm,
I've designed for accessibility. So the
mhm.
old terminology handicap is no longer used.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've designed a lot of for accessibility for clients that
Mm,
have the difficulty of getting in and out of their spaces, making
mhm,
sure when I design a space for them that is safe for them and that's accessible for them as well too. So hence the reason why I work with all different types of clients, all different types of backgrounds, all different types of necessities. So I've done a lot of different things in my career. So hence the reason why I've got a pretty good background of working with different kinds of people. So yeah.
mm. Amazing, and now you have also gave me the idea. So I would like then to invite Matthew to my show
Yes.
and talk to him.
Matt,
And
Matt is yeah. Matthew is Matthew's such a great. He he's such a great guy. So my friend Adrena actually introduced me to him, and Matthew is so talented. I'm telling you, he was when I was sitting in the hotel. I won't mention the hotel in Toronto, but we're in the lobby, and he was when we were when I was the way I'm talking to you. Okay, he would say, "Hey, you know what, David? Don't mind me." He grabbed all his camera crew, camera, everything off, and he's just like, he goes, "You know what, David? Just talk, be yourself, just the way I am." And he took his camera, just going. So, but his work is so amazing, so great, and yes, I would be happy to send you his name so you can
Yes,
contact him
please.
to give to
Maybe
give
I
him an opportunity to speak in his own words,
his
to show
voice.
activity.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's really good. Like I know I'm very selective when it comes to certain people in my business. I mean, I do my good diligence of checking everybody, make sure, but this guy here is like top notch. He's
Mm.
he's he's my guy. Yeah, but I'm happy to share him with you. So,
Yes, yes,
because
please share you
yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
for sure, most
We
definitely I
can,
will.
yes, like you said now, collaboration and
Yeah,
all together, united, we
you know
really
what?
can
Well, that's
change.
it. You know what? And then that's exactly because without collaboration, how can we possibly get to where we are in this world, right? It would be impossible. Like, like for one, I mean, for one of us, like if you're getting into business or if you're getting into some sort of, work, whatever the case may be, if you have to pay everybody everything, it would be billions of dollars. Who knows? I don't, I'm just exaggerating.
Mhm.
But I think that, by helping one another is important, helping them get to that next level, because each of us have our own contacts, have our own areas of connection that can help one another. Like I mean, for example, you're doing this podcast, and of course, you miss congeniality. You're, a big star around the world here and everywhere.
Oh,
And
thank you. It's
and of
not
course,
like that, but then thank you
yeah,
that
of
you.
course. So with that being said, I mean, of course, I mean, you're looking for people for doing podcasts, looking for legitimate, good quality people. Everybody is, right? So of course, I have those people. You have those people. But it's also bringing on people who are compassionate and understanding, and that can actually, sort of speak their mind by educating people. Education is key. If we work together as a team, we can climb that mountain higher together. We can get to the peak faster if we work together as a team, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why, like, thank you so
Yeah.
much. It was very, very kind of you to mention my title, but actually, it's exactly why I have decided to also open my podcast, because I have also type of diversity and I have neurodiversity, and I decided now to really talk very openly about that. Exactly, not like to be with a trend, because now it's kind of trendy buzzword. Like, many people who really created, like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, they came with coming out like, I'm diverse. For
Yeah.
example, like Elon Musk, he claimed that he is on autistic spectrum. But for me, I had to go to transform, first of all, for myself, through the very painful experiences in my life, to be able now to turn all this pain into the power and inspiration to talk openly that I have OCD,
Yeah.
and sometimes really severe flashbacks with that. And not many people knew that, but before I won this title, Mrs. Norway, and I represented Norway, and I won this title, so then I decided I really need to make a change. I really need to use my platform to show exactly other people that, yes, look at me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just disability. I'm not just, okay, like handicap. I'm not just, because many people believe if we have autistic spectrum, OCD, ADHD,
Yeah.
um, anxiety, that we're just broken, we are not whole, we are not good enough. And I believed many,
Yeah.
many years exactly like that about myself. And I was struggling and struggling. But at the same time, it's probably because I had to battle so many challenges, so it's also made me, like me today, really resilient, right? And now I really want to show people like Matthew, like everybody else, that
Yeah,
every single person is a resource, unique resource. It doesn't matter, because we all we all judge so quickly, right?
yeah, we
Because
do.
of labels and visionary labels, all labels, like even with just our negative vocabulary, like, oh, she's with OCD, oh my god, she's like that and that. But now I would like to show, no, I'm diverse. Yes, I have my special, not weakness, but let's say uniqueness. But maybe that's why I'm creative. That's why I could adopt my kids with
Yep.
special needs, because I have them myself. And I want to show to the world that, please, you are not alone. Because I believe in the beginning I was alone, I was alien, and I was alone. No, I'm not alone. Many people, if you and me, by talking together now, can just inspire people like Matthew, like me, like, maybe you don't know, maybe you were this too shy guy, but because you know how many people, again, actually they are not diagnosed, they don't know, maybe because autistic spectrum, like shy, it's very spectrum. I
Right.
don't see that you have it, but I mean, we should really encourage people now to look at other people through the wider lens without judgment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, right. So I will be happy to talk to him, because then we are equal. You know, he has special specialty in that way. I have, because it's organs. Brain is the most difficult organ, and my brain is wired differently. So sometimes really it doesn't want to cooperate at all.
Right. You know, it's
Okay.
interesting.
That's
Yeah, no,
That's
it,
why I
it's
actually want to talk about neurodiversity now. It's my next topic, because,
yeah, yeah.
like you said, yes, accessibility, now the new word for handicap, right? Actually, now you see, I
Yeah,
love podcasts. I learn all the time something new.
handicap was thrown out many years ago. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, it's been changed to accessibility. Again, accessibility falls into my line of work of design, of helping
Mm-hmm.
those in need. Looking at the we're talking about obviously ADHD and OCD.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us have that at some capacity. It doesn't make us bad. It doesn't make us terrible at what we do. There's so many creative people in this world, whether it be in the arts or the fashion or design or even in business, that have a lot of different innate abilities. That sometimes stand out more than others. But when it comes to what it comes out to, how it's delivered in their person, in their life, is so remarkable. And you can't judge people by that, but they do. Unfortunately, this world can be very mean at times,
Mm.
and they will judge you for this and that. But at the end, when they see the end result, they're like, oh my god, wow, how did that person do this and this? No, well, guess what, by the way, that's the person that you just judged that actually did that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be mindful and careful what you say, because you really truly can hurt somebody's feelings. And being OCD is not a bad thing. It's just that you want things perfect. You know, ADHD. Sometimes, I've had clients that had ADHD, or their children have it, but they're extremely intelligent, very very bright people. And sure, yeah, maybe you might have, for example, you know. Say you have a table, and on the table you have marbles. One part of the table you might have a deck of cards. On the table you might have, say, a sketchbook with pencils. And a different type of person that doesn't have ADHD or OCD, whatever the case may be, would just draw all day. The one with ADHD, it's limited. Like, they get bored very fast. No, I
Yeah.
can't draw.
Oh,
I can
mm.
go play cards. Or the cards. No, I'm tired. I don't want to play cards. I want to play with the marbles. That's ADHD. But there's nothing wrong with it, because they can multitask in some way, right? But then sometimes they can procrastinate. So,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid to say that they have this or that, because the people would judge them. And
Yeah.
quite honestly, nobody likes to be judged. Nobody likes to be picked on or bullied and so forth. So, but going back to education, Valeria, We
Mhm.
educate the public, we educate the people, that everybody's also diverse. And, what a better world to be in if we work together and support one another. Whatever you may have, or whatever disability or inability or diversity, whatever the case may be, education, talk about it, help one another. Back then, years ago, we didn't have this technology where we can
Yeah,
just jump on a podcast and say, hey, hi, my name's Dave, my Valeriya, where are you from? Where I'm from, Norway, or from California and Toronto. And let's talk about these really amazing topics, because without communication, without talking, nothing's going to be done about it. So, and these,
exactly. It's
yeah,
actually where we should start, right? To raise
absolutely,
awareness, but that we need to start talking about. It's not taboo. We should talk about that, and by really sharing storytelling like mine and many people, right? We can understand that it's because of this diversity we can live in this creative, colorful world we are creating together, because we love biodiversity, right? We are
yes, it is.
champion for that all the time. It's not just we love because it's so beautiful, but also it's absolutely need for the healthy ecosystem. But how we then can believe that society should be just built from neurotypical people? But it's still built very pretty much that it's just kind of norm how you should be a normal. But again, now in all this speed development in the world, what's actually normal,
Right.
right? It's also,
I don't think there any that normal doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist
Or,
anymore,
normal,
especially
normal,
in the
yeah,
creativity kills
yeah,
normal kills
yeah.
creativity, doesn't work together, they
No,
don't
normal,
talk, they're not
normal and
married.
creativity, normal and creativity doesn't work. If normal is a straight line, creativity is a squirrely line.
Absolutely.
Like
And
a little.
I believe that turning, exactly, like turning challenges and special uniqueness, like let's say not disabilities but diff abilities, I call them different abilities or divergent abilities,
Yeah,
into opportunity for growth. It's at the heart of innovation. It's how you
absolutely.
totally like see, and it pushes us to think differently, to adapt again, because I
Yep.
still need adapt. And but I also want the society start a little bit also be more open, not just put me in the position I should fit in, I should adapt, I should, it just
Yeah,
focus on me, that because I have limitations. But it should be like meeting point a little bit also. But look, we are so many, we're 30% in the world neurodivergent. Maybe also society start emerging a little bit, like because it's two-way road.
yeah,
But we, like I said, it's education, it's about talking, it's giving the
yeah,
knowledge, information, data, right? And the concrete examples. It's not like I'm staying here and oh, I've heard now it's special. But no, look at me. It's me. It's real. That's why I'm addressing, displaying this type of diversity. And look that. But I believe harnessing a unique perspective from diverse backgrounds. It's what fuels creativity and drives progress.
yes,
Progress.
yeah,
We need industrial revolution. All revolutions. Who was behind that?
yeah,
Thomas Edison, right? Einstein, many people, like I'm reading now the history, like Tesla, Nikola Tesla. He had much more severe OCD than me. You have no idea, but look at this guy. He was
yeah,
afraid of view of the peach, peach
yeah,
fruits. Before entering the building, he had to walk around 3 times. He could never touch the buttons. That's why they say they probably he'd never had like a interaction with a lady, woman. Many special things, but look at him, what he could really create and how he could imagine this world. And Enigma machine, Alan Turing, all these people, really, right? It was
yeah.
revolutionary minds. So yes, so thank you so, of course, for supporting me in this very
Yeah.
important case for me now. And I really want to speak more and more with people who has uh, not limitations. I'm not
You
choosing to
know,
take
no,
diversity.
there is no limitations, as long as like it's It is education, and letting people know there isn't limitations. There shouldn't be limitations. There should be an opportunity for everybody. Especially as creative people ourselves. Our jobs too is, obviously to educate and to be creative and helping them to explore, and open up those opportunities to give them what we all have. Unlimited. It should be unlimited. There shouldn't be limitations. If anything, zero limitations. So
David, now I would like to talk a little bit, of course, about your greatness, and now about diverse also into the subject of your philanthropic endeavors. Could you please tell our audience about your initiative, or was it yours, or about this? Uh, you call it Parkdale Food Bank,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. So yeah. Thank
It's
you.
so
Yes.
cool
So,
because it was first time I just could really read these combinations. Parkdale Community Food Bank, right? Could you please tell about this amazing initiative you are involved in?
yeah. So I was on board of directors for the Parkdale Community Food Bank here in Toronto from November 2011 to November 2021. I
Oh,
served. Yeah. So
mm,
I served 10 years. 10 years on the board of directors there. It's interesting. It was interesting how I became on board of directors. It was by accident. I didn't apply for it. There was nothing online saying, hey, or if you're looking to be a board of director. It wasn't anything like that. So what it was is where I was living in this stacked condo here in Toronto, and a neighbor had placed an advertisement on Facebook, regards to, hey, you know what, we're going to do a food drive for Parkdale Food Bank. They're in need. And I caught it, and I said, hey, I'll help you, put this organize. I'll help you organize this food drive. And
mhm,
I offered my Jeep at the time to pick up all the food, drop it off. Anyways, we ended up doing a food drive on a Saturday. It was July. I remember it was so hot that day. It was insane. It's like, anyway, so I did a food drive. I dropped it off at the food bank in July of 2011.
mhm,
And so they said to me, oh, wow, this is really great, because the whole Jeep was full of food. And I dropped it off, and they said, hey, David, we have a film crew here. Would you like to say a few words on TV? I'm like, no. I was shy. I'm shy. But I'm
okay,
like,
but
but
still this
but
period. Eh? Mm.
but it wasn't so much I was shy in that sense. It was the fact that I didn't it wasn't about me. It wasn't about, hey, I want to go on TV because I'm
Yeah.
dropping food. I want to do food. I want to drop it off because you're in need. So I dropped off the food. All the volunteers took it out of the truck really fast, and then I left. And then I had gone back to the food bank, maybe about 3 weeks later, right at the end of July. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm the guy who dropped off food. Oh, yeah, we remember. And I said, hey, can I volunteer as a helper? Right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I have my design business, which is full time.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'm doing other charity work besides the food bank. I didn't mention.
Okay.
So, anyways, and so he says, well, what are you thinking? I said, you know what? You know, he goes, yeah, but you're a designer. I said, yeah, I'm okay, big deal. I'm a designer. He goes, what would you like to do? I said, hey, I can clean the food bank. I can put food on the shelves. I can mentor the staff.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive your van, or like drop off food. He
Oh,
says, okay. And I said, do I need a resume? He goes, no, I don't need a resume. So then he says, give me your phone number. I did. He called me back for a meeting, and he says, hey, David, we found an opportunity for you. What's that? So I'm like excited. What can I start? He goes, how would you like to join the board of directors? I said no. And it's a big responsibility. It was huge. I don't know anything. I don't know what I was doing. So, anyways, I thought about it, and then I finally said, okay, you know what? If this gives me an opportunity to put food on the shelves and also other jobs, I'll do it. So here I am, board of directors. I remember it was like, I think it was December. I came in on November 2021, and
mm-hmm.
about a month in, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like nervous. I don't know what they're talking about, because they're mostly lawyers on the board of directors.
Okay.
Anyways, they said, they said, hey, David, we found a position for you. And this was probably in January 2020, 2012. So they
Mm-hmm.
said, David, you know what? We're going to give you a position and it's going to be the chair for fundraising. I said, oh my God, more responsibility, right? So I said, I go, what is a chair? What is it? What is a chair and what is, fundraise? So they taught me and they explained everything to me and they guided me. And I said, okay, great. You know what? I got it. So then I once I got a little bit more familiar with the food bank and what the procedures were and what the bylaws were as well too. And when you're especially when you're working with a food bank as a board of directors, your life changes
Yeah.
drastically, especially with how you post on social media with your business because now you're a representative of a
Mm-hmm.
food is municipality of that city.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we were one of many food banks in Toronto. There was I think like 80 or so. Anyways, so when we're on your board, and I remember vividly, I went down to the food bank on a Saturday when it was open and people were coming in for food, and I met a lot of the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So I came in before the food bank opened to meet the volunteers so I can introduce myself. As soon as I walked in, the expression on their faces are like, "Oh my God, there's a board of director. We've
This
never
is
seen."
big guy here, both.
Yeah, there's this big guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm 6'2", about 240 pounds. So I'm a tall guy, right? So they saw me and they're like, "Oh my God, like, you're David." I said, "How could you possibly know my name? There's no pictures of me." But they knew there was a board of director because they came through an email. So I said, I go, look, you know what? In order for me to do my job properly, to do my job where I can help out the food bank and the community even further, as chair for fundraising, I need to know the stories. Everybody has a story to tell. How can I help you? What are the one things that we are lacking the most? Is it soups? Is it potatoes? Is it fresh produce?
Mm-hmm.
What do we need? So I need a list from everybody to give me an idea what I can do to help you. This helps my job. So they went into the whole procedure. They now keep in mind at this time there was maybe about 40 volunteers, and I said to myself, look, you know what? I won't remember all your names today because I just started a month and a half ago, but rest assured, I will get to know every single one of you guys, every single one. And I did. And I went there all the time. So in between when I was running my design business during the day, I drop in for like an hour and half hour, learned the procedures. They showed me everything. And then I created a Twitter account at the time for the food bank. I created an Instagram account. I ended up working with the Toronto Police as well too at 14 Division. I worked
Mm-hmm.
with different corporations, new sponsorships. So when and I did presentations, talked to the schools. I did a lot of things, and as the years went by, you know, a lot of my even in my own design business, when it came to my own sponsors, my own endorsements for my business, I would reach out to them. I'll say, hey, David, what do you need? I said, you know what? We know you're on the board of directors for a food bank. How can we help you? I said, well, you know what? We need sponsors. We need donors. We need trucks. We need people. So my sponsors and my design business helped my food bank. They helped the initiative. One of my clients, I helped with one of his home renovations, is a news anchor on TV, and
Mm-hmm.
I helped him. And then, sure enough, he found out that I was on the board of directors for a food bank, and so he said to me back in now moving forward in 2017, says, "Hey David, how would you like to have a few words on TV?" I said, "Fantastic. Let's talk about the food bank." And he gave me 5 or 10 minutes on air here in Toronto, and we talked about the need for food. We talked about I need corporate sponsors, help the food bank out. So everything that I in my business, I pivoted towards the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
All everything that I did, I was pushing towards the food bank to help them grow. And of course, I was one of many amazing board of directors. I wasn't the only one. There was about 7 or 8 of us, and we all did our part. And how we got to where we are as well too. I mean, I'm very thankful to God that I was able to put all my skills, my efforts, my non-shyness, because I grew out of it many years ago, to help pivot the food bank to where it is today. And I loved what I did. I love it. I met thousands and thousands of people, the food bank, thousands of family, children. When we did Christmas events, I wasn't Santa Claus at the time, I was an elf, but handing out toys to kids, handing out food, talking to everybody. We created programs to help people get jobs. We created a lot of great programs with local businesses as well too. And I remember there was so many wonderful stories, and of how we got here, and from all different backgrounds, all different types of ethnicities. Um, we've worked with everybody under the sun, and it was such a great experience. And as we as I just sort of pushed forward much quicker, even back into 2020, when the pandemic began, and a lot of the food banks were closing down, and my business was affected because I do the interior aspects of design, and no homeowners were hiring me at the time. So our food bank was getting crippled because of the scariness of the unknown. And I stepped in with the volunteers, ran the food bank, and we had Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons was big franchise. They came by the food bank one day, and one of the managers introduced me to the director, and we did a Tim Hortons commercial. So I was part of the Tim Hortons commercial in 2020, along with all of the first responders, and along Toronto, giving back. And when they put us on TV in 2020, I asked them. I said, "Look, you know what? I'll do the TV section, providing that you put the Parkdale Community Food Bank in the bottom of the commercial." By them doing that, they ended up getting us a lot of donations, financial as well as a lot of everything from monetary donations to food donations for the food bank. And and my job my job was to obviously promote, and to facilitate, to bring on new members, new board members. I brought a lot of great more board members on board, new volunteers, to educate, and I would do it again. But I did. It's amazing that I served 10 awesome years with the food bank, and I'm so happy that I was part of that experience. So, and I've life is too
It's
short. Yeah,
so magical
yeah,
story. It was like a song for me. I didn't want to miss one
no,
single second, because usually I'm so eager to sometimes put my nose and interrupt. I'm learning myself not to interrupt people. But here, this case, I didn't want to interrupt at all. I was
no,
just listen and listen and listen. And I'm so thankful to God for sending his best angels and
yes,
people like you to our earth. Many others who was helping with you, and your friends, and board members and volunteers. I I really really thankful to him that he sent angels. I'm still believing the kindness, and though it has happened and still happen a lot of cruelty in my city and every single day in Ukraine, but
yeah,
I still believe in the magic of kindness, and praying
yeah.
every single day for the victory of my people.
I was just gonna say one quick thing, for those are listening. Kindness, compassion, to help one another, it goes a long way. Of course, everybody's shoes are different. We all walk in different pairs of shoes all the time. Not everybody knows what everybody's going through behind closed
Mm,
doors. And
exactly.
helping one another, even if it's the smallest amount of help, goes a long way. You have no idea. And this world can be scary. We are all alone at the end of the day,
Mm,
and I think that if we walk together, we can accomplish more things. I think, and number one thing is believe in God, believe in yourself, and there's always a problem. There's always a problem to be solved. That too shall pass, right? And one of the things I was going to say is a very, very quick story. When I was at the food bank, I mean, I have thousands of stories. I can spend hours talking about it. There was a young family that came in the food bank, a mom and a dad and a couple of kids, and the mom ended up getting into a car accident, so she couldn't work. The dad got laid off, so he couldn't work. and they had enough money to pay the rent. And so the father, you know, I guess someone had decided, hey, why don't you come to the food bank and get some food, right, to help your family. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, long story short, the father was telling me a story. He goes, you know, David, he goes, I'm thinking about selling my car so I can buy food, groceries for my family. I said, look, you know what? I said, how much can you get for your car? He goes, oh, probably about $1,500 Canadian. I go, look, you know what? Let's make a deal. You know, it would make sense for you to sell your car to buy food. I said, the food bank's here to help you and your family. I said, we'll help you, not a problem. You know, you can register is fine. You help us, you know, like more or less. I'm like, we'll help you with the food. If you want to volunteer, if you have time, maybe on a Saturday or so, that's fine. But I said, but don't sell your car, because my point is that tomorrow you might get a phone call for a job that
Mm-hmm.
you will need a car, because if you sell your car and say you get a job tomorrow, the next week, for you to go buy a car is going to be a lot more money. You're
Yeah.
not going you're not going to get that kind of car for $1,500. You're going to have to pay, you know, 5,000 or $10,000, right? So, you know, there's always a solution to everything, but it's just a matter of like, speak up, tell us, what do you need? How do we help you? You know, don't be shy. Don't worry. No one's going to judge you, you know, because we've all been in some sort of situation. We all
Yeah.
are, you know.
We all have issues. Nobody knows about it. It's true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with this powerful message and with the so beautiful story, almost about the magic of helping each other. So I want to jump to last tradition, last part of our podcast, which I made already tradition. It's funny because, like you've mentioned now, that just tell us what you need, what is your wish. If I was your fairy tale genie from Aladdin, you became this Aladdin making their wishes for 10 years. But now if I'm your fairy, and but I can grant just one wish,
Yeah.
not that many. What wish would what that wish be?
You know, it's what wish would that be? Oh my gosh. That's oh my god. I can't even imagine what that would be. There's so many things I could use.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. It's a trick.
so many things.
Just one. Sorry.
If I can get one wish, what I would love the most is I would love to see you talk at TED Talks. I would love
Oh
to see,
my, oh yeah, wish for
but
me, you believe? No,
yes,
I mean
yes,
wish for you. I can make wish
yes,
for
yeah.
you.
So yeah, my wish is to see you on stage. I want to see you. I would love to see you on stage, and for the way we're talking, you know, today, and for this amazing opportunity to talk with you. You're so gracious, so amazing. I would love to see you on stage. I'd love to see more people, millions of people see you on stage and talk and listen to you, because you're so inspiring. You've inspired me. So my wish is to see you,
Oh,
because what you're giving me right now, I'm so inspired. I feel so amazing. I feel so uplifted. And this is based on our conversation today. So I'm already getting what I want, which is amazing. I What I wanted from this conversation was to way to express everything, how we feel and what we talk about, and collaborations, working together as a team. But I would love, my one wish, honestly, is to see you on the world
oh
stage.
my God, you knew, because this is my one of my best dreams and wishes for the next year. And
Yes,
I already nominated myself and asked another people. Yes, and yeah, I remember you and me, we've been
yes,
chatting about that because you have
yeah,
this great conference in your country. And I said, oh my God, because I even have the topic. I want to talk from OCD to PhD, right? That I have all this bumpy road, which, but still, yes, oh my God. So thank you. Now we are sending the signal to them,
yes,
to God and the whole universe. So
yeah,
that's, I know I need this, yes, empowerment from you and from many other people. So, thank you so much for your amazing story and, of course, inspiring in so many ways, and your incredible journey, which
Thank you.
I can say the same. Like, it's always privilege for me to meet the new person, to be inspired by a new story. Again, to get the proof that what I'm doing, what we are doing together, it's so right. It doesn't matter how many other people say that, oh, just talking, you should just no. It's not just talking. It's not about that. It's collaboration. It's to make it
Absolutely.
each other inspired and powerful together. Yes, we united. We are stronger. That's true. So thank you so much for our listeners, of course, that they're still with us. I'm sure they will be enjoying this conversation. So please don't forget to share this episode.
Of
And
course.
I'm talking to you and to them, and it will be, I believe, nice tradition that we can meet after some period. And please, Matthew, you promised to share your Matthew with me now, right? So
Yep.
next time when you visit me, probably California, so you can fly with Matthew. We can sit on the beach and make plans to
Exactly.
make
Yeah.
this world great again, right? And for
Exactly.
you, my beautiful audience, I would like just at the end also to remind one simple thing: by empowering others through diversity and inclusion, creativity and compassion, we can inspire action, provide the tools for transforming lives, and create a ripple effect of positive change together.
Yeah.
So, thank you, and until next time, stay tuned.